washed all your poo. So this is our Aussie Traveller 3 kilo front loader. And yeah, it's so much like shallower than we thought it was going to be. About most of my hand in terms of drum depth. But yeah, it looks really good. It looks like it's nice and compact, and we're going to try and fit it in the cupboard.
Yeah, we got it because it seemed to have the lowest water consumption. Like I think it was 31 litres on the website, where everything else, even the top loader ones that usually go under the Bushtracker beds, were like 70 litres or 80 litres of water for one wash.
Yeah, and they're only like a 3.5 kilo machine anyway, aren't they?
2.5 usually, I think.
Yeah, so yeah, like for your water versus weight usage, yeah, way too outnumbered there. So we said we'd spend the money and buy this. Yeah, we will try and fit this in.
It wasn't too bad. What was like $800 or
$800, yeah.
$900 with free shipping and
so it was up there for a washing machine of this size, but
like,
they're pretty niche, really.
Because we're living in the van.
Yeah. Anyway, we should be able to use it off the water tanks pretty happily. Do a couple of loads. Not too worried about water consumption then.
I think it'll pay for itself in the fact that we won't have to do $4 for a wash. Washing machines at caravan parks that sometimes just don't work and chew your coins up.
Yeah, you got to do like three washes, $12 in, and then you've got one wash.
They never clean it.
Yeah. The little detergent door drawer thing. Cool. We'll try and give it a whirl and see how it goes. Chuck some of Delilah's stuff in there and see if we're happy with it. So our plan is to have the washing machine just in this cabinet here, which is our hanging space. It's currently sitting on top of the little footrest, shoe well, the thing you step up on into the bed, that thing. But before we get too carried away, we will give it a try just to make sure it's all working, because there'd be nothing worse than getting it in there, avoiding a warranty, whatever. So yeah, I'll see if I can squeeze it in there. It's 34 kilos, it's not light. Yeah, anyway, that'll fit. So what I'm going to do is, I'll take you down here so you can see. So the bottom here, we've got a little bit of space left. So I'm going to try and build up inside the cabinet so that this sits just above the door frame. We might even cut the frame out of the door. I mean the actual the wall there, to make it sit a bit lower so that we've still got more space above. Probably doesn't make much sense, but I'll try and make it make more sense. But yeah, so we've got a little bit of clearance here. So we'll cut we'll bring the door down, and by bringing the door down, we've got more wall to cut out of the bottom. So we'll gain about 20 mil. Not much, but helpful. Just to retain a bit more of our hanging space, because roughly where it's sitting now, on the actual foot shoe storage there, is not too far off where it's going to sit in the cabinet. So yeah, close. Thought I'd show you what came with the washing machine as well, is just this little Aussie Traveller wash tub, laundry basket, pamper thing. It'll be about 30 litres all up. It's like 600 mil long, 400 deep or something like that. It's pretty sizable, and yeah, flat packs down, has a drain plug, pretty good, and yeah, is actually a decent height once it's folded out. Apparently this is durable, so we'll see how durable, because I've had them had all the others like corners crack out on me after a little while, a year or so of use, so it looks pretty good. Give it a try and see how it goes. Came with a washing machine, so you can't complain about paying for it. So gonna measure up the bottom edge of the washing machine to like the door, so I can have the door just sitting above that the opening here, and then yeah, create a false floor under there, and just I'm going to try and make like a little basin so that if it does leak, then it'll leak into itself and it won't sort of just flood the van and ruin everything. So yeah, we'll get cracking. We'll make a base. I'm just going to screw that down into the floor so it's completely independent of all the cupboards and stuff, I think, at the moment. I might screw it into the side just to brace everything up nicely. And then, yeah, probably just screw a bit of ply down. I might put ply walls around it to create that little basin. And then I'll waterproof that whole thing, and hopefully it'll hold water. Doesn't really matter, it's just to slow it down. And yeah, we'll drop the washing machine in there where currently we've got a 240 volt outlet on the inside of the bed area here that just runs across into the cabinets where our 240 volt comes from. So we'll probably just hook up off that. We're going to put one down here for the washing machine. It's going to be accessible above it so we can isolate it if there is a problem. So that'll be up here, and then we're going to run another one down below that, just out to where the our lounge area is here. And I'm going to have something computer mounted in our little cupboard we put down there. Just measuring this up to figure out how high to make this floor in the cabinet there. Just measuring down from the bottom of the door and to the bottom of the foot is about 135. It's quite hard to tell because I'm not on a flat surface, obviously. I could just put it on a flat surface and measure it, but I'm going to call it about 130, and then if I add like a 12 mil bit of plywood, it's going to bring it up another 12 mil. So yeah, we'll be up about 120. So yeah, we'll have hopefully about 20 mil of gap there, and if we don't, I'll just sit it up even more. So that's all good. Easier to bring it up than put it down again. So that's going to be our rough measurement. Will be about 130 off that top lip in the cupboard there. So I'll move the door down, see what I can cut out of the door frame, and then I can mount my base and then have all those measurements. So yeah, bit of dicking around, but I want to create like as much room above that as I can. So yeah, it's worth the time and effort it's going to take to build it. So I move the door down, still clears so it covers that, and the latch still works, although wobbly. And now down the bottom, that means that we've got a fair bit more room here to play with. So by the top of my finger there, sorry, is the bottom of the door. So we could cut off like a good 20 mil of that. So I might get rid of the stick just inside here, and I'll move that down to a better spot, and yeah, stick that back in lower, and then we'll have a bit more opening here, which will be better. Put the thing on a flat surface, so I'm going to measure it properly, and then I'm going to measure the distance in between the feet, because the stand I'm going to make the legs sit directly on a leg that's going to support it, so it's nice and strong straight down to the floor. So just going to quickly measure that up, and then I'll go into the shed and start cutting it on the drop saw to make it nice and easy for myself. But I just need to sand that front edge on the opening there, and I'm pretty happy with that, so it's about as neat as it's going to be. That first cut I made was horrible, so I had to redo it, and I just sat that block a little bit lower, which means there might be like a mil gap underneath, but you're not going to see it, so it won't matter. So yeah, we'll measure this, go at the back, cut it up. 430 by 270. So the front edge left to right is about 430, and then deep it's about 270 to the center of the foot. So we're going to use that as our measurement, and now I'm going to measure the height of the door opening, and then I'm going to find out what height I want it to sit at here rather than using my measurement I had before. So that is 135 mil. So I'll use that as my measurement, and then we'll plus 12 mil for the board, which will bring us up to about 112 or something, 122, something like that. So then our depth in here, we've got 230 mil. I'm measuring to the wrong edge. It's 298 mil. and the light just turned on. Yep. So we'll call that 300. So we'll go 300 minus 135, and that'll give us our height that we need to make that little plinth. Well, it went in about as good as it could. I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, about a finger width in the bottom there, which is exactly what I wanted. Could have made it closer, but don't really need to. Opens out that way, so you can still get that door pretty well open. We're going to cut this open anyway, so it'll go a little bit further. And yeah, there's bits in there. But yeah, that's her. Now, I also cut, while I was out the back, I cut the top bit. I was going to put a shelf over the top so that nothing falls down the side of the washer. And yeah, just a couple of strips to, I'm probably going to put a bit of like foam on top of here. And then we'll just push that down and it will sit perfectly over the top. And then hopefully have something to screw into the side so that if we want to take it out, we unscrew the shelf and that's what's holding it down. Just saves having like a ratchet strap or something in there to hold it down, because there's no real way to fix it down from factory. So that's just what we're going to do. It's probably a better way of doing it, but that's how I'm doing it. That base is pretty solid. The feet are sitting pretty much over the top, and I will put some screws in that. So yeah, pretty stoked with that. Looks good. Left gaps around the back for the plumbing and stuff, so I'll figure out how I'm going to waterproof all that and probably cut in some more bits in a minute. Sitting like about 10 mil in front of behind the door, so a little bit of clearance there, and those feet are really stopping it from moving around. So yeah, if I have to take it out again, I might move that bottom board just back a touch so that it sits a little bit further back. But now we can focus on getting some power through. So power point up the top here in the top cupboard, and I'm going to run that down, have one above the top shelf I'm going to put in here, and then I'm going to run another one out from there to next to the couch here. Excuse the mess, because yeah, a lot of things going on at once. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's gone. Yeah, that 30 kilo weight is a pain in the ass to try and put in there without being able to hold the handles. So yeah, now it's just going to be a matter of making this top shelf fit, I wanted all the plumbing access above that shelf so you don't have to take it apart to get to it. So this little like standpipe that we've put in the corner here, yeah, it's just going to feed the water down as a drain, and then we've got our mains coming in here that'll go into a tap, and then we'll have, not quite sure where I'm going to put this PowerPoint yet, but somewhere easy for me. And yeah, have that above bench as well, and then just have everything slotted so it fits in the shelf nicely and I can just in and out easily. Probably easier said than done, so yeah, wish me luck. Finish off joining that into the power up there, clean it up a little bit. But yeah, that's our storage height now, which is just shy of 600 probably. Yeah, hanging height's about 570. So whether or not we actually try and hang anything there is another question. We'll figure that out as we go. But yeah, pretty happy with the install. Door's going to miss that door by a hair, which I'm happy with. The shelf there's a little bit of a bow upward, but any weight's going to settle that down. Bit of foam in there just to stop it from rattling around too much. And then the locating feet underneath are working pretty well to stop it from moving out too far. That does shift the shelf a bit when I shift it back and forth, but as you'd expect, because you've got no horizontal bracing there because of the back one. It's just too hard to slide the whole shelf down and in. So I think I'm just going to leave it as is. I might even put one across the front here just to hold that nice and flat. But yeah, we'll see how we feel. I didn't really want to obstruct the screen at all. So yeah, anyway, maybe a bit of angle, steel angle or something. And you can just see the PowerPoint that I've put in there. Nice and protected. Still got to do that one yet. But yeah. Big old cleanup. I've made an absolute mess, but yeah, pretty happy with that. Yeah, it took me a while to do the power and stuff, but oh well, it's done now. Bit agricultural with a tap in there, but I couldn't really get a quarter turn one or anything, so it is what it is. So I bought this stuff thinking it was John Guest fittings that were used originally, but this pipe doesn't seem to fit John Guest. I just can't quite get that in there enough, and I guarantee when I turn that on it's going to pop. So I've got a fitting from Bunnings. It's an 8mm T-piece. So that looks like that. I would definitely prefer to be using the John Guest stuff, but here we are. So I'd be replacing all this pressure piping. So anyway, we're going to put that in there, and hopefully this fits onto the John Guest nicely as well. So that sorts that out, and hose clamps on all three edges of this, especially the John Guest side. And then for our grey water here, just spliced in, put our TPs. This is quite a loose fitting compared to the other two, so a couple of hose clamps on that too, hose clamps on them just for a giggle. So we'll get stuck in, get that on, done. Okay, so we're going to test our new washing machine. What is it? A Kamek Aussie Traveller.
Aussie Traveller.
3 kilo front loader.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do now while I'm distracted is I'm just going to open up our Victron app. So we've currently got a lead running to our inverter in the car, and I'm going to open up the shunt on our Victron app here, and hopefully it works. It does. So we're currently at 100% state of charge. We're using 14 watts, which is our standby power for our inverter, so that's going to be constant. And yeah, 7 days with the inverter running. So we've loaded up the washing machine. We've got ourselves half a load, which is probably about all it can take. So that's probably like, I don't know, a dozen undies and a little poo towel for Delilah here. And we'll shut that, power on, power off. And yeah, I thought this was actually pretty nice considering it's, yeah. So 48 minutes for a cotton wash. A quick wash is 28, soft wash is a 103, high temp is 136, spin is 8 minutes, and a drum clean is an hour and 11.
How can we do quick wash?
So yeah, I guess we'd do a quick wash.
Because the stuff in there is not soiled and...
Yeah, we're not, so this stuff's actually, some of this was like new, like we're just going to wash it before we wear it. So what I'm going to do is I'll run the quick wash, and I'm also going to, so we're going to see how much water we use and how much power we use. So we take this 30 minutes divided by, 30, and then that's per minute what it's going to use a wash. Yeah. Here's to hoping.
Hopefully you plumbed it in right.
Yeah, we're also checking for water leaks too. I hope that it ooh, takes water.
There's the pump.
32 watts. Just thinking about it really. Leave that up there with our detergent. So the plumbing hasn't had any water run through it yet, so it's just bleeding some air out of the system as well. Using 40 odd watts, 148. That's just like an initial inrush to make it like start spinning.
Yeah, okay.
The heaviest draw would be that high temp wash down the bottom there.
But we don't
because
have
it's
hot water connected stuff anyway, do we?
it heats its own.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's why it'll use so much power.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, got the power disconnected up there, and more poos out of Delilah, and we've just got our catch bucket out of our drain there. So we'll just weigh that and see how much water we get into it when it starts spitting it out.
Our bucket has a hole in it, so...
We're going to measure this quickly. Ooh, 27. So that was
27
probably,
litres?
yeah, that was probably the worst possible way to test something. Like I put more water down the drain and stuff, so
yeah,
it wasn't ideal. But we also missed some in the bucket. There's a hole in our bucket, and yeah, so 27, so about 30 litres of wash.
which is accurate with what that said online.
Good, yeah. So we pretty much ended up with 99% battery left, so you can see our 13 watts. Our 13 watts is our inverter power, so it's pretty good there. So you can see that when we just taper up, we'll call that time at the top there is 310, 311. So it just goes up and down, bounces around, and I think we started it at this point here, which was 238. So that's about that many minutes. And yeah, so our largest draw, I think, was here, like 90 watts or something. I think I saw it spike to like 100. This sort of flattens it out after a little while, but I think I saw a spike of like 110. But I mean, for like a little wash, that's That's awesome. You could run that off a tiny little inverter and not have to worry. While we're here doing things, I'm just going to do a... so we did a quick wash last time. What I might actually do this time is a high temp and just see how much power it uses. So our last wash used 2.5 amp hours. So that's not nothing really. Like you could run that off an old AGM battery that's nearly dead. So yeah, we'll run this and I'll let you know what I find. Time's up on the hot wash. That put out like so much heat too. So a little bit of extra. And yeah, so I'll go out to the car and I'll show you how we went with our power. 49%. So 95.5 amp hours. So we had 2.5 on there before, so that'd be like negative 93 amp hours. Yeah, that's a lot of power. We'll show you how we went with our power. So as you can see, I actually decided that then was a good time to update the app. So we started at about 3:30. It's now 5 o'clock. So yeah, that went all the way down to about 1400 watts. That's a fair bit of power. I think the most discharge I saw was about 1530 or something. So yeah, we had a and then it's just went on its emptying cycle at the end there, as it did a last wash with cold water. And yeah, so it dumped 3 loads of water and did 2 hot cycles I think, and then 1 cold. So that did pretty well, but definitely need a 2000 watt inverter for that. And we're back to 0. So yeah, that used a fair bit.
That's the other tricky part we're going to have, is getting it out without dripping it everywhere.
Well, is it tricky, is it?
These are bamboo jocks, they generally hold a lot of water anyways, but...
How wet? I mean, they're probably a bit more wet than like what
normal, but
what
like,
we
that's
would have in
plenty
a...
fine. Like, that wouldn't take too long to dry.
But if it's wet, it means it got washed, right?
Yeah, true.
If it's dry, it means it didn't do enough.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. That's a good purchase in my book.
Yeah, no, I'm so
that's our
stoked
amount
with
of
that.
clothes. Well,
And like, I
washing.
put less in. I just grabbed a few things just to test it.
Yeah. Happy?
Yeah, I think it'll work well.